Is this awesome word, pronomial classifiers. So it's kind of like pronoun is where they get that term from. So it says some classifiers can be used as pronouns, that is, they can replace the noun. 3 examples are classifier 3. So if you made a number 3 and then you turned it so your thumb is facing up, this is the first example that I have on here, so thumb up like this, then you can use it, and this represents either vehicles such as a car, a bus, a bicycle, or a truck. So anything pretty much that would move like a vehicle. So I can show that the car was going uphill this way, or that the car was driving erratically like this, so I can represent a car with this. So I would first set up and let you know, oh, it was a motorcycle, and that's what I'm showing here. Or I can say it was a car that drove like this, or had to go around something. But first of all, I need to tell you what it is, because if I just did this, you would know it's some kind of vehicular moving thing, but you don't know if it's a bicycle, you don't know if it's a mountain bike or a dirt bike or a car or a bus, motorhome, anything like that. So you just have to set that up ahead of time, and then you can use this as your classifier to show the movement. Okay. The next one is the upside down 2 with your palm facing you. Okay, so this one is for any person or 2-legged animals such as a woman, a child, or a gorilla. So it'll just walk like this. Well, because it stands up. So if you had like an animal that was like lower, like a bear or something, then it would be here. So that's why there's a difference, because it stands up like that. So I can do like the person was walking across this way, or the person like jumped, or things like that.
What if the bear was standing?
Well, then maybe I would use this one after all. I just have to change from like it came up to me like this as a person. Run away, I don't know. I think it just depends on how into the story you were, if anybody noticed. Okay, and then the last one is a B with your palm down like that. Okay, so it says for any flat object such as a piece of paper, a magazine, or a newspaper. Okay, so anything that has like a flat paper shape, then you could do it like that. So on the table is my book. It's right there. Okay. Or these papers, can you set it over there? Okay, or it's in the corner right there. Okay, so you can just set up and show where this is, and whatever I do with this, you would know that it was my paper. So I could explain like that I threw the papers up and it went down like this, and you would understand the movement of the paper, and then it caught the wind and it flew off again. So you would be able to see by using the space in front of me what happened in the paper. Okay? So it says, when used with nouns, these classifiers can show the location of the noun. The noun usually precedes the classifier in the sentence. So just as I said that we needed to set up what we're doing, what we're talking about, then this is what that's talking about. So it says car, classifier, and then you would set it wherever it is to show that it's here. Okay? So first you would do your topical ization. Do you guys remember doing topical ization? You, and you. And you maybe a little bit. Should remember topical ization. So let's go back. So topical ization is when you want to draw attention to what the topic of the sentence is. So here in this one, then you're saying car, and then you're using the classifier to show where the car is at. So this sentence would actually look like car here. Okay, so you're setting up where it's at. So the one thing about topical ization that's really important is the way that you use your facial expressions and what you do with your body to show that it's the topic. Because just by signing car here, I haven't set up a topic at all. So because it has the line over it with the T, if you guys look on page 131, the example that has in box A at the very bottom. So over car, then it has like the line and it has a T over it. So that's implying that this is topical ization. So when you do topical ization, then your body leans forward a little bit, and you raise your eyebrows to demonstrate that this is it. I think there was one more thing too. So be car, and oh, and you hold it. That was the other one, because I knew there was 3. Okay, so you're going to, so for topical ization, then you'll lean forward a little bit, you're going to raise your eyebrows, and you're going to hold it on that side. So car, so you know, okay, so that's the topic of the sentence, this is what the entire focus is, okay? So, car, here, okay? So let's move on. Okay, so in B, then it's doing car over there. Okay, they're just setting it down in a different spot. Okay, in this one, then they're doing the same thing pretty much, just in different spots. So car over there. Okay, so you could just describe it like where it was at in the parking lot. Oh, over there, that's where the car's parked at. So this is usually setting it down in a certain spot. So it doesn't mean that the car is actually up here and then moving it down. It just shows that this is where I'm starting, it's set up right there and staying there. Okay, so the car's there, it's being set there. Okay, the next one that we're going to go over is in 12.2. It says substitute the appropriate classifier for the here or there adverbials of place. So this one says, I see your van there. Okay, so what they're signing, so it has I see your van, they're just spelling V-A-N there. Okay, so if you were to do it with a classifier, then it would be I see your van, classifier there. Okay, so that's the idea of it there. Okay, so let's do, we do woman standing over there. She looked at me, I guess. I guess I usually think of this one more as walking. I would probably do this one, like the woman is over there and then she looked at me. I would probably use this one because this one can be a person as well. But I guess if you want to use that one, you could go woman, she's standing over there, and she looked over at me. So we could do it like that. Okay, this one is I enter letter there. When I entered, the letter was right there. So let's think about like if you're walking into your house and where the letter is set at. Okay, so you could say like, oh, I entered, and we're talking about like going to my house. So I could be like, oh, I arrived home, and so I entered, and then the letter is right there. Okay, so you could set it up that way and explain something. Okay. Okay, so we're going to have something here. So what is this going to be? Maybe motorcycle. Okay, so you can say motorcycle. Okay, so we pause, we lean forward a little bit, and we raise our eyebrows up. Okay, so motorcycle. Okay, and you could say is right there. Okay, or we could say, how about the motorcycle, like hold in front of me like if it went across me. Okay, so you could say motorcycle, it went across in front of me. Okay, or you could say it passed by me. Okay, so you go motorcycle, it drove past me. Okay, or you could say when I was driving. Okay, motorcycle. Okay, so this hand becomes you, where you're at. This is the right hand. So whatever your dominant hand is, then this is the one that's right here. Okay, and then the motorcycle drives past you really fast, or you're here and the motorcycle pulls around and cuts you off. Okay, so you can explain all that with it. Okay, let's do. If you were to tell someone that I left the letter on the table for you. Okay, so I could go the letter. So this is my topic. Okay, so this is letter. This is also stamp. So it's kind of the idea of like licking a stamp and putting it on a letter. Okay, so the letter on the table, I put it on there. The other way that I would use this one is if I was going to stack something up. So I would say books stacked up like this. Okay, or I could say the papers. So paper, the top of the sentence, lay them out like this on the table. Okay, so I can do an arrangement that way. Okay, so let's go to. Okay, so I like what they're doing on page 133. Pronomial classifiers can be used to show locational relationships such as on, under, behind, in front of, beside, facing each other, on top of. Okay, so I like this one because it starts off with two vehicles next to each other. So this is the one that I was thinking about. So things like this, okay? So you want to pull in, make your number 3 like pretty tight like that, so they're next to each other like this, okay? The next one says two vehicles, one in front of the other, so I talked about like you could go around cutting someone off like that. So it could just be like this. and they're parked in front of each other. Okay, the next one is two persons facing each other. So they could be standing like this. Okay, more commonly than if I was to talk about two people, then I would do it like this. This is usually the one that you see for a person. Okay, so the person walked across, or the person is there, or this person went to this person went to that person, like that. Okay, so that's usually the one I use, but you can use this one. This one says one flat object on top of another. So if you have one thing here, then you can set paper on top of it. So I could use my arm as the classifier. So I said like table here, and then I would put the paper on it like that. So you could do that as well. And then this one says a container on top of a flat surface. So previously we'd used the container one. We'd learned that one. So this is kind of like a cup, a bottle, a can, anything like that that would hold liquid, something like that. Then you could do it this way. And then they're doing a cup on a flat surface here. So just saying the cup on top. And then this one, a container under a flat surface. So let's say this was a very low shelf or under a couch or something, you could put the cup under it. So I'd be able to say, oh, okay, like you know the chair, I put the cup under it. Okay, that could describe where I left my drink at. Okay. This one, it says, using pronomial classifiers, indicate the location relationship of the objects or persons in the following picture. Use the model sentences given. So this one shows a picture of two cars next to each other. What would you do if you had this one? Awesome, okay. So both cars are next to each other. Okay, in this one, then we see what looks like maybe a chest of drawers. So if I was to describe a chest of drawers, I would go like this, starting here like the flat surface on top and going down. Okay, so you could just like leave it like that, like a cabinet or something. You could then show that the door is open or that it had drawers. Okay, so I would just go like that and show like the surface. And then I would take and put something there to show that. And then the can on top on the corner, where would you put it? Right there on the corner. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I actually would turn it upside down. So this hand would be with my palm facing down, and then I would just set the cup on it. Perfect. Okay, this one, they're doing, looks like maybe a garage.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could say, like if this was the top of the garage, this is actually the sign for garage. So it's kind of like the idea already. We have garage. But you could just say like the building was here and I drove under it. So you could just show that if you were doing more of a description. Okay. Then this one shows two pieces of mail laying kind of next to each other. So you could say maybe on the table is where the mail's at, and you could show where that's at. So you could go table, and then you could show here and here. Okay? Or you could describe maybe it's in the middle, here and here. Okay, let's go down to number 5. Okay, a shelf. So this is a sign for shelf. Shelf this way. Shelf. Okay, and we'll put our hand here to describe that, and then the pots are towards the middle of the shelf. So we go one here and one here. Okay. Maybe that's like Coke bottles and the bottle caps. So let's say that was a table. So if we did table and we put it here, and then we did a bottle here and a bottle here next to it. Now the one that we use for something small is going to be here. So one here and one here. Okay? Okay. So in this one it says the action of persons or objects can be indicated by adding movement to pronomial classifiers. So we talked about this a little bit, like in one vehicle passing another. Okay, so that's one example. Okay. This one says two vehicles colliding head on. So if you think of vehicles coming from opposite directions, they come together and crash. They crash. Okay. This one is a person diving off a platform. So if you had just a platform here that you'd already set up and you're describing this whole thing, the person's here, and then they dive off. Okay, so that uses this one. That would be a good use of that, because I probably wouldn't try and explain this. I'd probably just do it from here, like the person standing, and diving and like that. And if you think about it too, then this helps because you're able to see where the legs are. Like if you just have this one, then this is like your head. So if you have it here and you're able to show the legs, you could show like they kicked all the way down, you could describe something like that. You could show that they flipped and they went in with their feet down like that. So you could really describe something, how they did it in the air or something like that. Okay, or you could show that they fell this way and like belly flopped into the pool or something. Okay, so you could really do a lot with this if you're able to use this like to show the legs. Okay, and then this one is a container falling off of a flat surface. So if we have like the table here, we have the cup here, and then it falls off this way. Okay, so you can just imagine just how a cup would have the contents upright like that, and then it just pouring out on the floor like that.